Tonight, on Dark Dubai Diaries, we unravel the tale of love, betrayal, and murder buried beneath Dubai's golden sands. This is the story of Samira, an Ethiopian maid, and Nasir, a Pakistani driver, whose lives collided in darkness, ending in blood, secrets, and a silent grave under the desert moon. Samira was born in a village near Bahir Dar, Ethiopia. She grew up waking before dawn to the sounds of roosters crowing and goats bleating outside their mud hut. The cold air bit her cheeks as she walked barefoot to the river, balancing a clay pot on her head, her small neck straining under its weight. Her mother, Haina, was strong but gentle, known in their village for her wisdom. She taught Samira how to grind coffee beans, weave baskets from palm fronds, and recite prayers to ward off evil eyes. Samira's father, Tesfaye, was a tree climber who harvested frankincense and honey. Every evening, he would return with resin-scented hands and scoop Samira into his arms, whispering, "My little nurse." Because nursing was her dream. At school, Samira sat at the front, scribbling English words on boards with charcoal, repeating after her teacher: hospital, nurse, doctor, patient, cure. During lunch, she shared roasted chickpeas with Mariam, her best friend. They whispered of their futures under the tree, braiding each other's hair. "I will be a nurse in the city," Samira would say. "I will buy Amma new shoes. I will build her a house with glass windows so she can watch the rains." But at age 10, her life turned. Her father fell from a eucalyptus tree while chopping firewood. His spine shattered. He lay on a woven mat in their dark hut for weeks, coughing blood, until one cold dawn he fell silent forever. Her mother's eyes dimmed after his burial. The light of their home flickered out, leaving only shadows. Samira watched neighbors bury babies wrapped in faded cloths under the red earth, their graves marked only with broken pots to ward off spirits. At 14, Samira left school to gather firewood and work for wealthier village families. She scrubbed soot from clay stoves, washed bed sheets in the river, and carried water jugs twice her weight. Every night she fell asleep exhausted, her back aching, her fingers raw. One day, an agent arrived in their village, promising hotel jobs in Dubai. "Clean rooms only," he said, eyes glinting beneath his cheap sunglasses. 2,000 birr salary. You will live in the city with air conditioning. You will eat rice and meat every day." Samira's mother wept with relief, pressing her forehead against Samira's. "Go, my daughter. Send us light from across the ocean." At dawn, Samira left home with her mother's tattered prayer booklet tied in her hair scarf, a small cloth bundle of clothes, and dreams swelling like rain clouds in her chest. Samira's first glimpse of Dubai was from the plane window. Endless highways slicing through red sand, glass towers shimmering like blades in the morning sun. At the airport, she breathed the chilled air, scented with cinnamon coffee and expensive oud perfumes. She saw veiled women gliding by, men in crisp kandaras speaking softly into gold iPhones. The floors gleamed so bright she could see her tired, smiling face reflected beneath her. She thought, finally, my life begins here. But within hours, her world collapsed. The agent handed her to a Lebanese family in Jumeirah. There was no hotel job. They took her passport, told her she owed recruitment fees, and would work as their maid until her debt was paid. Her days began at 4 a.m., scrubbing floors on her knees until they shone like mirrors. She cleaned 5 bathrooms daily, washed dozens of clothes, polished silver cutlery until her knuckles cracked. Madam fed her leftover bread dipped in watery lentil soup and slapped her when she made mistakes. One morning she burned toast and Madam beat her with a sandal until her back bled through her thin cotton shirt. At night, Samira slept on a ragged mat in the kitchen pantry, roaches scurrying over cracked tiles. Her pillow was stuffed with old towels. Sometimes she woke to ants biting her arms, the faint glow of Dubai's distant towers shining through the cracked window above her. Each night she clutched her mother's prayer booklet, whispering, "Ya Allah, let me live. Let me see my mother again."
Nasir grew up in Lahore, Pakistan, eldest of 6 siblings. Their house was built of unpainted brick with rusted tin roofing. His father, Hanif, drove a rickshaw through narrow alleys, earning just enough for dal, roti, and boiled tea. His mother, Nasia, sewed buttons onto factory shirts for neighbors, her eyesight failing under flickering kerosene lamps.
When Nasir was 9, he was told to watch his 4-year-old brother Adil while their mother fetched water. They played near the canal, tossing pebbles and shouting at dragonflies, skimming its brown surface. For a moment, Nasir turned away to chase a grasshopper. When he turned back, Adil was gone. Only ripples and bubbles remained where he had stood. His screams tore through the village. Men dived in, pulling out Adil's limp body. His mother's wails became legend, echoing in dreams for years. His father never spoke to Nasir again. The guilt lodged in his chest like a stone, pressing down every breath. At 14, after his father's stroke, Nasir quit school and began working at a tire shop, hands blackened with grease, lungs clogged with rubber dust. Every night he fell asleep exhausted, dreaming of Adil's empty eyes staring up from canal waters. At 22, he sold his mother's gold bangles to pay an agent for Dubai work, promising her, "Ami, I will build you a house, no leaks in the rain, you will sleep peacefully."
For 3 years, Nasir worked as the Lebanese family's driver. Each morning, he woke before dawn, performing prayers in the small driver's shed behind the villa. He prayed Fajr under flickering tube lights, forehead pressing dusty prayer mat fibers, whispering, "Ya Allah, forgive me, keep my family safe." He drove Madam to her nail appointments in JBR, the children to their elite British school in Al Safa, Sir to walk in glass towers lined with chrome and marble. Sometimes, as he waited in the Land Cruiser under blistering noon sun, sweat trickling down his neck, he closed his eyes and imagined Adil alive again, running barefoot over warm fields, mango juice dripping down his chin. He never kept a dirham for himself. Every salary went home to pay his sister's school fees and his father's medicines. At night, he ate leftover biryani scooped onto plastic plates from the family's dinner. He slept on a thin mattress in the driver's shed, the cement floor hard under his aching back, praying each night for forgiveness he never felt he deserved. Samira and Nazir spoke rarely, but their love grew in quiet gestures. One dawn, Nazir saw her limping after Madam's beating. Later that day, he left a strip of Panadol tablets near her mop before driving the children to school. Samira wept silent tears of gratitude, hiding them behind her cleaning cloth. When Nazir returned late one night with bleeding knuckles after changing a flat tire alone on Sheikh Zayed Road, Samira made him tea before Madam returned. Their eyes met across the kitchen counter, hearts brimming with unspoken words. They never touched. Their love remained hidden in half-smiles and gazes, prayers whispered into darkness, two broken souls clinging to God's mercy in a city that saw them only as disposable. Rami, 17, was born in a golden cradle. Maids tied his shoelaces, drivers carried his bags, teachers accepted bribes to pass his failed exams. He insulted staff daily, calling them dogs and insects. He once forced a Filipina maid to massage his thighs, slapping her when she refused. At school, he was nearly expelled for forcing a classmate to kiss him in the boys' bathroom. His father paid off the family to remain silent. At home, he stole from his father's wallet, smoked hashish on the villa rooftop, and whispered vile suggestions to Samira whenever no one was around. When his mother left for a 3-week retreat in Paris, Rami's darkness deepened. He followed Samira through hallways, cornered her in laundry rooms, grazing her arms as she folded towels. One afternoon, he grabbed her wrist so hard it bruised. That evening, Samira hid in the garage behind, sobbing silently. Nasir found her there, tears streaking her cheeks. "He is dangerous," she wept. "I am so scared." Nasir felt pulsing through veins scarred with guilt. Memories of his drowned brother flashed before him. He vowed silently, "I will protect her, no matter what." That night, Rami returned early from a party, reeking of vodka and cigarettes. His friends left him after he vomited in the club. He staggered into the kitchen, slamming the door behind him. Samira froze at the sink, scrubbing dishes. Rami leered at her, eyes bloodshot. "Take off your dress," grabbing her wrist with iron strength. She screamed, pushing him away, tears streaming down her face. Please no," she sobbed. He shoved her against the counter. Her hand landed on the kitchen knife near the sink. In blind terror and rage, she turned and plunged it into his chest. Time froze.
Rami gasped, staring at her as blood spread across his shirt. He staggered back, clutching the knife before falling onto the floor. His final breath rattled out as his eyes glazed over. The knife clattered beside him. Samira screamed, her cries echoing through the villa as blood pooled around her feet. Minutes later, Nasir came, carrying grocery bags. The smell of blood struck him first, then the sight. Samira kneeling beside Rami's body, sobbing for forgiveness. In that instant, his entire life collapsed into one choice. His drowned brother's face flashed before him, his father's silent hatred, his mother's tears, his years of sacrifice, all converged into a single truth. He would protect her, even if it meant his own destruction. He knelt beside her, wiping her tears. "Samira, look at me. I will fix this. Trust me." They wrapped Rami's body in a carpet, taped the ends shut, and carried it to the high-SA van. Samira trembled with silent sobs as Nasir drove under the black sky. The road stretched endlessly, glowing under a crescent moon. Hours later, they stopped in Al Qudra, miles from any road. Using a shovel from the van, Nasir dug a shallow grave. His hands bled, blisters tearing open as he tore through the sand. They laid Rami's body down and stood together under the moon, feeling the finality of their fate. For months, the family claimed Rami had run away to Saudi Arabia with friends. Police opened a missing person report, but closed it, citing runaway minor. Samira continued cleaning, her spirit broken beyond repair. Nasir drove in silence, each turn of the steering wheel an unspoken prayer for redemption.
What neither knew was that Rami's father had installed a secret dash cam in the van after suspecting Nasir of stealing fuel money. The footage recorded every trip. 6 months later, when he demanded the footage to be reviewed, they saw grainy images of a carpet being loaded at 3 a.m. and the van driving into the desert. That same week, stray dogs unearthed human remains in Al Qudra. DNA confirmed Rami's identity. Police arrived at dawn. Samira collapsed sobbing as officers handcuffed her. Nasir didn't struggle. As they led him away, he looked at Samira, tears rolling down his cheek. In court, neither spoke. Their lawyers said little. Their fates were sealed before their hearing. Dubai's courts showed no mercy to the poor. Their execution dates remain unannounced, a silent dread hanging over their prison cells. Now they sit in Dubai's central prison. Samira prays for forgiveness, whispering her mother's name into her pillow at night. Nasir spends his days in silence, imagining canal waters and his brother's laughter echoing in the mango orchards. In Dubai's towers of ambition and shadows of silent deserts, love can become murder, and murder can become the only prayer of the broken. Samira killed to protect her dignity. Nasir helped to protect her life. But justice has no mercy for the powerless. They now wait for execution under the same sky where their secret lies buried forever.